All right. So let's talk about farming. So the difference between communism and fascism is simply scale. Okay, so in the 20s, especially in the 30s, let's talk about the 1930s. Here's a giant farm here. Looks like a good farm. I'm not knocking the farm, but let's just talk about England. England had a real situation where the communists and the fascists had a lot of struggle, and they were vying for power. And there is no moral argument for either of them. It's only about territory. It's like a mafia controlling a city block. And the difference between fascism, National Socialism, and communism is one wants the whole world and the other just wants a nation or race with a specific geographic area. That's the only difference. And I believe National Socialism would actually promote the family better, function better, but it's not good. It's still farming. It's still farming your energy or your spirit, your life many times. And it's simply the scale. So that's why we're currently in a global communist system. The whole world is under the World Bank communist territory. And that's okay. It really is, because these are all dimensional things. Nothing you need to get upset about, nothing you need to get mad about. National Socialism simply meant that ethnicity had a role in who was in the system and who wasn't. That's all it means. And the immorality of both communism and fascism is they deify the state. They make the state an egregore and a deity. Now, I am not anti-government. In fact, I think the government right now, although parasitically worn down right now, and the macro government is a puppet show, it's not even real on most functional levels, is a protection. NatSoc is family oriented in a way. Yeah, it is, but it's because they want more cattle. It's not because they love you. The government as a deity will never love you. The state will never love you. They treat you like cattle, and they always will, and that's the way it has to be. And that's okay. You can make the choice to not be cattle. Communism was about global fascism. Realm-wide fascism. That's why they're so anti-quote-unquote racism, anti-Semitism, trans rights, on and on. It's because they want no borders. It's actually, communism is more quote-unquote evil in a way because they want more. It's more greedy. It's more hubris. It's more, we want everything. They're not anti-racist because they're good people. It's because they want to be able to move populations based on the needs of their deified state anytime they want. Now, National Socialism feels the same way, that you should sacrifice your children for any war the state wants, that, the individual is not, is of no concern. It's about the state. The state is your God. And that's no good either. That's why the people that are saying, well, the good guys actually lost in World War II. I'm like, you can make that argument that Germany would have been better under Adolf Hitler than after it broke. But see, the problem with National Socialism is they also get that greedy disease where they're like, okay, anyone that isn't German shouldn't even be alive. And then you get a form of white globalism, as Vox Day calls it. This is why I don't have white pride or white identity. Because when you want to expand, and it always happens, it gets really genocidal. Because it's like, okay, we now should take Russia. It has more resources, and they're not our nation, so they should die. And so that can be a problem. So if you have the ability of staying in your lane, it would work much better. It's more permaculture. But again, the problem with National Socialism is it deifies the state. Whenever you make the state a god and you serve the state over God, you're always going to have a problem. AKA Richard Spencer. Yeah, 100%. There's no difference The globalist communists and the Richard Spencer white globalist types they're the same thing. They're just fighting over territory and scale. All it is scale. How big do you want to go? Okay, so way too many white liberals. Yeah, but think of liberal and conservative as masculine and feminine, and you'll have a much easier time. Liberal is just the concept of the tyrannical feminine. Conservative is hijacked and also liberal, so these aren't even the right terms. Fascism is the tyrannical masculine. So, and with a balance, it works great. Like if you're balanced with the male and the female, it works great. But if you have communism, it achieves this horrifying dystopia through female tendencies of the state is your god, but we have to take care of the weakest, and we have to make sure that the concept that the workers own the factory is literally a crazy female concept. Okay, so what if you catch one of your workers, like, I don't know, jerking off on, like, at the assembly line? Like, who fires him? He's an owner. You have to have a hierarchy, because the tyrannical feminine breaks the hierarchy. So you don't have the boss and then because the workers are not going to be capable of owning the factory. I've tried that with the Bears, where I used to give opportunities to anybody that wanted them, because I have a little bit of that feminine quality in me where I'm like, oh, he's in pain. Yeah, let him run a channel. And then when they can't, they freak out and burn everything down. And so the workers can't own the factory. There's always going to be a 1%. If you take out the 1%, then it's just going to be another 1%. There will always be an unequal distribution of talent, labor, and responsibility, and that has to happen. The masculine has to enforce that. Now, the other side is also true. It's like the tyrannical masculine forgets to feed and clothe the kids. It's like the tyrannical masculine says, put him in the winter with no clothes. If he wins, if he survives, he's strong.